And confident sounding ANC, Thoko Didiza being there. How did she sound, Vuyo, in her address? Did she sound at all unfazed by what's been happening?
Well, thanks very much, Natasha. Well, as a matter of fact, she is joining us now here. Didiza, well, a lot of, your issues took the bulk of this media briefings time. Not surprising, given the scenes that we've been seeing in that part of our country over the past few days. Just to take you back again, how did you feel the minute you saw those ugly scenes of burning tires, burning of public property?
One of the things that, as an African National Congress, of which I'm a member, that saddened us has really been the scenes of violence that we've seen, the destruction of property, and where there have been a loss of life. We regret that during these incidents, we've actually lost some lives, and we want to say to those families, we are with them. We feel their pain because such should not have happened. To those whose properties have been lost, again, we express our regret, and we are saying we understand their pain. But more importantly, it's the appeal to our people that while we understand the concerns raised, it would have been better to address it differently through dialogue and engagement rather than resorting to acts of violence. And we hope going forward that as our leadership of the province and the region have been going from community to community and addressing our structures, we will see calm returning in the Metro of Tshwane.
But were you surprised? Did those scenes, did the acts of violence and intimidation, destruction and even death take you by surprise at all, given what was at stake and the atmosphere, in fact, running to what we saw a few days ago?
I must say that one appreciates that sometimes issues of contestation can actually have consequences of tension within communities. But also, in this instance, what has been concerning has been the deliberate misinformation to our communities, particularly those who work in the Extended Public Works Program known as FAT ALES, and those who are hawkers who are trading in our streets in Tshwane, who were told that they will be removed, all of which were not correct. These are the programs that the city, supported by the ANC, have actually developed. The Expanded Public Works Program, while I was the Minister of Public Works, it's one of those areas where we realize that in dealing with challenges of poverty in our society, we need to find methods that are labor intensive, which can capture more our people at work, which also offers opportunities for employability and also for self-employment. And I want to say to those communities and those particularly who are in the FAT ALES program, and Babereki, those who are in the hawkers, we will continue actually even to increase those programs so that we can capture more of our people into work opportunities. I also want to say Tshwane has got a number of young people. Apart from those who are scholars and students in our universities, we also not immune from those who have got the challenge of youth unemployment. Working with the city, we will improve on the program that had already been there, which addresses the concerns of young people's employability, because indeed it is an area of our concern, not just as a city, but also as a country.
Well, as a leader in your own right and as a member of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, do you think that as the leadership you handled these processes, the one in Tshwane in particular, as best as you could?
My own view is that yes, we did. We did indeed give an opportunity, as by our resolution of 2007 in Polokwane, which indicated that the regions will present 3 names to the PEC. Those 3 names will be the candidates who they think will fare best in that space, and indeed that was done by the region. However, in assessing the situation and looking at the candidature, the PEC felt, as it is within their right, that they would not accept those names. And indeed engaged, they went back to the REC, engaged with them about their response, and they then went to the NEC when we met on the 18th to engage the National Executive Committee to have an intervention. And even after those engagements of the NEC allowed an opportunity where the PEC will be engaged in terms of what were the choices and also the REC. So in my own view, there was enough engagement, consultation consistent with our democratic process in the organization. As you know, when we take such decisions as the National Executive Committee, are not decisions that we take light, are decisions which are informed by the current situation and which will be in the best interest of the organization and of the community that is affected at that particular time.
Any lessons that you think this episode would have, should have taught the leadership of the ANC? Any things that you think perhaps moving forward can be done differently?
Well, I think all of us, as I said earlier in the interview, that we need to ensure that we raise the level of consciousness of our communities, that where there is disagreement, we need to find a way. It doesn't matter whether it's within the structures of the ANC or even at a community level, that we must find ways of resolving conflict in a manner that does not make us go, undertake acts of violence. We come from a situation as a country where we've had challenges of violence, and it's a history that we want to bury, such that where there are difficulties and tensions, we must find better ways of resolving such problems.
Well, this episode also brought to the fore, some of ugly tendencies that clearly still persist, attitudes that continue in the hearts and minds of members of the African National Congress, like tribalism, like regionalism, but also insinuations that women within the ANC have to slip their way up to the top.
Well, I think one of the issues that all of us would agree, that from its inception, even leading to 2012, one of those founding members of the ANC, they were conscious that in order for us to liberate our country from colonialism and apartheid, well, apartheid came later, it was necessary to unite our people and actually fight the demon of tribalism, which has and continues to divide our people. Tribalism have been reinforced by the homeland system of the then apartheid government. So it's a continuous level of consciousness that as a society, of which members of the ANC or any other political party are not immune from. Because some of the statements we saw on the social media were coming from party members of other organizations, which therefore means as a society, when we talk about social cohesion, it's important to deal with those issues that seek to divide us. We are challenged with issues of racism even today, regardless of the constitutional democracy we're in. But as a country, one of the things that in my view are positive is that we have not shied from those difficult questions. We confront them. And this is why the leadership of the ANC have come out strongly, even at a branch level and in the region, in Tshwane itself, to say we can never be associated with such tendencies. in our movement and in our society.
Lastly, how easy or difficult do you think it's going to be for you to work very well with the other people who, some of whom may think that they were better candidates? Do you think it's going to be easy?
Let me say, all of us in the African National Congress were deployed by the organization. At a particular time, we are assigned particular responsibilities and actually get moved to other responsibilities. And it does not matter who is there. Our responsibility is to help to support one another. And I don't think there will be anything different. I've worked with both comrades, and I will continue to work with them. They are part of the Regional Executive Committee, which I will be working with very closely. And to be honest, I don't foresee any challenges. When I left, for instance, I'll make an example. When I came into agricultural portfolio, I followed Comrade Derek Hanekom. When it happened that I came into public works, there was Comrade Jeff, there was Comrade Stella, and it was myself. Comrade Jeff Dodge, Comrade Tulas have come after me, and Comrade Gwen Kabinde. We've worked together because whatever policies that we execute when we are in the responsibility of government are ANC policies, not ourselves.
And you won't miss Parliament?
Well, surely there have been personal relationships developed. There's a new area of work for me. I've also learned, and I think in this sphere, I will still learn.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Thoko Didiza, the ANC's mayoral candidate for the city of Tshwane. Well, I'm joined now by the ANC's mayoral candidate for the